And it shouldn't. But if it does, you need to look within. You know, but if I came out with this is their story and this is, you know, this is if I packaged them differently and told more of, you know, of their story in the beginning, then you would have formed a different opinion about them. And so, you know, basically I show you that it really makes no sense to not like this type of an individual. You know what I mean? And you can love somebody that's like this. You know what I mean? But it might not be what's the word? The popular thing to do.
Right.
or in your family, the acceptable thing to do, to openly embrace. You know what I mean? So I like to show you different layers of characters and make you form, you know, an opinion about them, and then give you the other.
Right.
And then, you know, then that makes you question yourself. Have a conversation with yourself. That's what I want you to do. Especially I wrote a book that has all male characters, and that was the hardest book for me to write because I write in first person in all my books, and so I didn't want my characters they were all black men, and I didn't want it to sound like a black woman talking to you. That was like one of the hardest books, because it wasn't just one character. You know, you can get away with having one male character in the book and try to figure it out and give them a voice. But the whole book is men.
Wow.
And yeah, that's my fifth book, I think, Stereotyped. And basically I make you stereotype them. I make you think you have them pegged, and then I chop at the layers. And then, you know, and then it shows you that you share the stereotype. So I always have like
a message, pretty much.
A message, you know, I always want you to look within and question yourself. You know.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Well, Vic, first of all, thank you so much for sharing your energy with Lissha and I. Now, you got me when you first came on the show with saying you wrote a book about your emotions. All your characters were emotions. So that got me to really thinking, I want to read this book because there may be some emotion that I'm feeling. So, do you remember the big box of crayons that we used to get with like 1,000 colors in them? And I see you with so many colors, so many layers to you. But what color in that box of crayons would best describe you and why? And you can even make up a color if you feel that just, you know, put you in a box, but literally in a box. What would describe Vic Reedy?
I would say I can make up a color. Fluorescent black.
Oh,
I can make one up. So
that's a first. And you have to tell us why. I know this
yeah,
is why.
because I am deeply rooted in my blackness.
I
But I
love it.
also but I shine, you know, and
Mm,
with you know, darkness is usually associated with something negative, and I don't want people to, everything that I create, even like bitter. It was a black book, and the word bitter has a negative connotation.
Right.
But once you read it, you know that it's not about being bitter. It's about overcoming bitterness and not, it doesn't advocate for you to be bitter. So I think my color would be fluorescent black.
I like
Hashtag
that. That's different. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Now I see like a shiny black instead of saying a shiny copper penny, a shiny black penny.
Thank you.
Like fluorescent black.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Okay, so you can get everything about me, everything that I do on my website, thechatradioshow.com. So that has my apparel, my group, my books. All the books are on Amazon. If you're in the Boston area, they're in Frugal Books. But I also have them here so people could get a visual. This is my journal because I stay ready.
Yes, girl.
That's my journal. You can get that on Amazon. That's for self-care. This was this is the first. Oh, hold on. All right, there you go. That's the first Twitter book. But then on my anniversary, I put myself on it. And same book, different cover. Still Bitter, the sequel.
Still Bitter.
Bitter Family Secrets, the last book of the series.
Bitter Family. That's another. That
oh yeah, all my books. And I don't know if y'all can see. Can y'all see like what the background of that is? Okay.
Is it born?
No, it's a slave census, y'all. Slave census.
Wow.
So, yeah. Most people just look at it and kind of overlook it, but you gotta look at it to really see it. And then Selfish Women's Group. This is my new release, not to be confused with the Selfish Women's Group journal. But yes, everything's on vicbreedy.com. All of my social media handles are at Vic Breedy or at Selfish Women's Group or Genetically Resilient.
Awesome.
I think that's all I got. All I got, vicbreedy.com. That's the easiest thing.
That's it. Yes.
Okay. All right. All right. I appreciate y'all. I really do. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Purple's my favorite color, though. You didn't ask me, and y'all got all these little purple thingies up here. I was like, oh, okay.
That's too.
Ah, yes. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Take care, y'all.
Bye. Bye. Yes.
Hey, y'all. We are back. Welcome to Let's Chat. I'm Miss Lissha. You know, I got my right hand, and most of the time she is my left, the fabulous Miss Toni. You just got finished talking that talk with the fabulous Vic Breedy. If you missed that interview, no worries. Just head over to our YouTube page. You can check out all the replays of all the interviews. You can also check us out on Ebony TV. That's where you will see all the replays of Let's Chat exclusively every Thursday. We have our next fabulous guest. We have PK Rashaan.
Hey, PK.
How it's going, folks?
All right, so listen, we about to jump into it because we got some questions.
Of course.
All right, the name change.
Mm-hmm.
What is going on with your branding that you are in a pivot move? Because it's really a business pivot.
Yeah, it is. What I plan to do with this new path, as far as what I was doing with PK, is different from Shakir. There's some things that Shakir should not be doing, so this is one of them. Considering that this is a young adult path, yeah, about that. So that was part of the reason why I had to expand the brand and then do the pivot, in a manner of speaking. So yeah, that's how he ended up being born.
Mm-hmm. Now, what is it behind the pivot? I mean, you know, you go from literally one extreme to the next. What brought on this desire, the desire to be PK and the author of a different type of book?
This has been in the works for probably the last 2-3 years, give or take. This was something that I had actually wanted to do earlier in my career, honestly, but I just didn't have the bandwidth at the time. So now I've got a little bit more time, I've got a little bit more leeway, in a manner of speaking, and now's the time. So it felt good, so I decided to do it.
So I want to go back to the decision to do it. I'm about to piggyback off what Miss Toni said, because a lot of times we have a go moment. And a lot of times when things happen, like you said, it's been in the works. You thought about it, but you never moved on it. We're always mindful about how we treat other people, how we pour into other people, and the things we do for other people. But when it comes to ourselves, there's lack there. Tell us that go moment. What was that moment like when you said, I'm about to do this?
A lot of it was really, honestly, it was just more of a feeling than anything else. I mean, as far as our youngest is concerned, my daughter, ever since she knew that I was writing, I mean, she's known that I've been writing since, maybe since she was about 6 years old. She's 17 now. And she's always bragged on what Daddy's been doing, but she never could brag about it in enough of a manner because of what I wrote. So this was part her decision as well as my own, because it was, okay, now we can go ahead and move on this a little bit. She can kind of be a little bit more comfortable in saying that it's author, but once she gets to 18, once she gets to 21, then all bets are off at that point.
Right, but and I love that dynamic, because you just said she was proud of you, but you wanted, was it that you didn't feel it all at that moment because of what you were writing, where you felt that was kind of blocking out, where you could be like, listen, if I wrote a genre that she could be into, when she says she's proud of me, like, listen, it's to the moon and back. She all in. She telling all her friends, listen, my dad writes this book. He wrote this book. Let me tell you what it's about. And she can thoroughly brag on you.
Well, she was doing that the whole time. It's just that people had to go find out for themselves. She wasn't going to necessarily give them the whole, the whole full Monty, so to speak. But she was going to tell them. There was no guarantees on that. And it's kind of a, I won't say a promise in a manner of speaking, but it was part of it at that point. I actually, the career days when you were in elementary school, all that other good stuff and whatnot. So of course that part of me comes out, and I think it was her either third grade or fourth grade class. I can't remember which one it was, but her third grade class literally held my feet to the fire and said, "You need to put something that we can read and get it done soon." And I'm like, "Okay, I'll try." And you know how parents are. We push that off. Yeah. So finally it got to the point where her squad came at me at maybe about a year ago and was like, "Okay, so about that promise you made way back when."
But do you think that with COVID and the lockdown and the limitations that we had, and all of a sudden we have all this time on our hands, do you think that was a pivot for you to actually sit down and focus on writing under PK?
In a manner of speaking, yes and no. I think what it was I had more time, yes, but as far as whether or not that was going to be that moment where I actually decided to pivot like this, no, I really didn't think it was. But then it was like the more that story came through and the more it started to pick up, and then of course, like I said, I let her squad run through the damn book in terms of the dialogue and everything along those lines to make sure everything was accurate. Then at that point it was like, yeah, it might as well just go ahead and push forward and let's get this done.
Absolutely. So it was like a collab. That's like a collaboration.
Yeah, it was.
It was a beautiful collaboration because really it opens you up to a whole nother set of fans, a whole nother fan base. So have you thought about writing a children's book, some children's books to kind of...
We're not going to get ahead of ourselves here. I'm not making any promises whatsoever. We will see. That's all I can say.
But he said, "I learned my lesson. I don't make no promises. I'll see how that go."
I don't need y'all coming at me in 10 years talking about something. Remember what y'all said back then? No. Sorry. You got me completely. Nope. That's not going to happen.
Now, what is the thing you admire the most about your pen?
I guess I'm trying to figure out exactly how to answer that question, to be real with you. Like, it's I guess it's just a matter of just a whole different, I guess it's a whole different headspace is the best I can figure. That's the best way I can answer that question. Everybody loves to tell, everybody loves to say authors have a whole different, mindset and a whole different brain activity, so to speak. And I'll be the first one to tell people I'm certifiably nuts because I've got several different characters in my head at any given moment in time. But now it's a wholly different thing because now it's almost like a split personality at this point. Sometimes I have to be Shakir, sometimes I have to be PK now. So I have to get used to that.
Absolutely.
Now, what can we expect when we open up a PK Rashaan book?
It's not Shakir. Literally speaking, it gives you, it's a different type of edge. A lot of my young adult characters, they're not candy coated sugar sweet, not by a long shot. They're still an urban edge to them because a lot of my daughter's friends throughout the city are from different walks, whether it's suburban or whether it's downtown. So there's a lot of different characters and a lot of different things and a lot of different interpersonal relationships that I could actually create based on what she was doing for the most part.
Absolutely. So what was for you the most difficult thing when you sat down to write this new genre?
Having to, I won't say mute myself in a manner of speaking. I mean, usually when you're writing adult fiction, you can kind of let loose in a manner, in some aspects, so to speak. With young adult, there's that line that you have to kind of navigate in a lot of senses. Sometimes you can let them curse, sometimes you can't, sometimes you can, figure out, different social issues if you decide you want to put those into the mix. Everything that goes into that play, even with the dynamic between parent and child. There's a lot of that comes into play as well. Like, well, what the hell? That goes into that play. Even
feedback.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure that out too.
All right, that was me. Sorry, y'all.
Okay.
Yeah, but something. With that being said, PK, I want to ask you. Certain authors, they go through a ritual as authors. They have certain things around them. They eat or drink or whatever, certain things.
Mm-hmm.
You find that you have to change your environment from Shakir to PK. The things that you may have done to put you in that writing mood as Shakir to put you now in the writing mood as PK. You see what I mean?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying. I guess it's a matter of sometimes it's choice of drink, sometimes it's just choice of snack, whatever the case may be. Certain things that belong to one, and then there's a certain group that belongs to the other. So when I bring those out, it lets me know what I'm supposed to be doing in that moment, as opposed to cross-contamination, where that can get real ugly if I'm not careful.
Right. That's what I was thinking, because it's all that mindset that plays a key role sometimes in how your characters are reacting or what they're doing or how they're feeling. And that environment affects everything. So I was wondering, did you have to change up your environment to go from Shakir to PK, and how strong that was?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a whole it's a mind flip. I mean, let's not sit here and mince words here. It's just you have to literally be in that headspace. If you're not in that headspace, the words won't come out right.
That's right. And as adults, especially as readers, our whole job as readers is just, we end up scratching the soul of the author. We see all the things behind the pen that you hide. We see all the insecurities behind the pen that you may not bring forth. So when you're writing a young adult book, what is that process like? I know that you have to put yourself in a certain mind space, but do your readers pick up on certain things when you are holding back?
Not necessarily. I mean, the beauty of it all is that you don't necessarily have to always play a shell game when you're dealing with the different topics and different the different subjects and themes and all that other good stuff. There's always a piece of me in any of my characters, regardless of who it is. And there's always something that I've drawn back from on my own experiences. Even with the young adult side, I mean, I can draw back on my high school days if I really wanted to. But I know that was a different time. That was, different mentalities and that type of thing. And that's, like I said, that's where my daughter and her squad came from, because it gave me a chance to mix what I experienced in high school versus what she's experienced in high school, and come up with my own spin.
Absolutely. So what's next? Because now you have a whole new genre that you have to expand on. Are you going to focus on this genre, or do you see yourself jumping back and forth between books? Because I would see it would be hard to jump back and forth and do adult and then do.
It's honestly not, for me. It's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. I mean, I think that was the thing that I really was worried about at one point, was like, am I going to spend too much time here versus am I going to spend too much time on the other side? And for now, I found a healthy balance between the two, because I've already got this one coming out in December, and then I jump back into Shakir's head come February.
Okay, so you space that out.
Yeah. So, I've got time to get into that headspace as far as Shakir is concerned, and then turn around and jump back into PK's headspace in May with the second book in the series. And then, from there, it's, and then it's a couple months later, I can jump back into Shakir. And I think it's July or August, if I'm not mistaken, where I have to jump back in all over again. And then by the time I get to the end of the year, it's going to really be fun. So no worries on that front.
So it's not like you're going from 1 week as one to the other.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to say, PK, I know that Chosen doesn't come out, like you said, until December, but have you had a chance to let your Shakir readers or someone that knows you under Shakir get a taste of what PK is bringing to the table and their feedback, if you have? Because I'm interested to hear their feedback.
Yeah, they didn't realize they had it in me. I think that was the thing that was the funniest of it all, was that they really didn't think that I had. Well, I want to say that I had it in me, but it was just that I had the ability to really restructure what a world would look like and a universe would look like that's not Shakir. So yeah, that was its own brand of fun as far as that was. But I kind of already did that once before. Yeah, I did that where I literally did something. I was able to, I won't say able to write a book without so much sexual content in it, but yeah, at the same time I was. And it was easy back then. It's easy now. So it's just, it's mentality and it's discipline. That's all it is.
Absolutely. Now, by this being a whole different audience and a whole different genre, let's talk about the marketing aspect. Do you find it difficult to market to the young adults in that genre and in that particular niche? Because you're used to marketing to grown-ups. So now marketing to essentially children is a different process. How has that process worked for you?
It's been fun. I'm not gonna sit here and lie about it. I mean, it gives me a different path to play with, in a manner of speaking. I'm used to the well-traveled. Now it's like it's forging a whole new path, and it's a whole lot of different connections, a whole lot of different reviewers that I have to engage. A lot of content that is that's really polar opposite in a lot of instances. I mean, with regard to how PK is, as far as that social media side of me is concerned, it's a lot of teen-oriented content, as far as that is. And that's not necessarily, it's not hard, so to speak, but I usually follow the expert in that. So, that's really what that is at that point. But from that spot, it's just, knowing what to post, how to cultivate that kind of content and all that other good stuff and whatnot. And it actually gives me a chance to play around with a lot of different things. I mean, a lot of people didn't necessarily know that I was a big Garfield fan growing up. So a lot of my social media posts do involve Garfield. That's just something that I wanted to do because it gave me a connecting point when it comes to just knowing that that's the type of headspace I need to be in. Doing something along those lines, whether it's something that's really innocuous in a lot of instances, but still be able to draw.
I want to piggyback on what Lissha's talking about, PK, is because that is a different audience as far as marketing. But did you come across any challenges with marketing to a different audience that you may not necessarily have had before? Or
only because I'm an unknown, honestly. I think that's really
in that genre, you mean?
Yeah. It's just that I'm an unknown, and as far as that is. Now it's a matter of making sure that I get with with as many different people as I feel is necessary, whether it's the other young adult authors and kind of, picking their brains in a lot of instances, crossing over ethnic lines in a lot of instances with different YA authors as well. They've been wholeheartedly supportive, which is its own craziness as far as that world is concerned. I did not realize how much they would, push far and wide for you. Because they love the genre just as much as you do. And that's the one thing that I've learned, more so than anything else, is that when it comes to that world, when it comes to that genre, when it comes to that industry, they're very, very supportive.
That's interesting. With that, on that same realm, you are in a different world with different authors. How would you say is different from Shakir's author support?
Honestly,
author support.
Honestly, it's not necessarily that it's really just more different. It's not necessarily better or worse. It's just a different type of market, because there's still going to be, when it comes to young adult, everybody can push you, because there's no real fear of pushing content that's not safe for kids, so to speak. But when I'm over at Shakir, because of the way that my catalog is, there's only certain things that certain people can push. And it gives them, and then, again, it's not their fault. It's my content. I own every last bit of it, and I'm proud of every last bit of it. But I know there are certain things that they cannot push because of the type of following that they may have. I always tell Christian fiction authors, like, I don't know why you following me, but hey, that's on you. That's really where I'm at when it comes to that. Because they know from backdoor conversations and back of the office conversations and things of that nature, I'm not gonna slow my roll down because I'm just because I'm trying to fit a certain niche. That ain't never been.
Now, are you having fun as PK Rashaan? Are you having as much fun as you thought you would, like when the idea first manifested itself a couple of years ago?
Absolutely, I'm having a ball with this. It's absolutely fun. I think more than anything else, it gives me a different what's the word I'm looking for? It actually gives me the ability to really rejuvenate my own passions in a lot of speak. Because sometimes you get to the point where you start writing in so many genres, you write in one genre too long, and you get burnt out.
True. Right.
In a lot of instances, that was what happened to me maybe 3 years ago. Outside of the personal that was going on, I just really didn't feel like it anymore. And by the time I got to 2018, it was okay. So we got a decision to make, and I got to figure out whether or not I want to bother, and all that other good stuff and whatnot. And then sometime toward the end of 2018, I guess it finally kicked back in. But it helps when you have new material. It helps when you have new genres. It helps when you can build new worlds. Those are all the things that you can use to kind of keep from feeling like you're just doing the same old thing over and over and over and over again. So that's really what it was in that point.
But also, PK, it kind of rejuvenates you. It kind of rebirths you into this author world, but it also allows you to use all those skills and all the things that you picked up as Shakir and put it into being the best PK you could have been, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
So you get
a second chance to make a first impression.
You're taking all that experience.
Do you think it allows you to bond with baby girl more?
We were that way regardless. This does nothing different. I mean, that's
but it
really
does
what it
take
is.
it to another level, because in a sense, it takes it to it brings her into the business side.
Yeah, she gets to own this one in a manner of speaking. So yeah, there is that.
Him, baby. I know that's right. Listen, DJ Khaled did it. His children can't barely walk, and they all executive producers. Listen.
Yep, absolutely.
Love on your baby. It's okay.
Absolutely.
Okay, so tell us what's next. What is next for PK Rashaan? First of all, what does PK stand for?
PK is basically basically their initials for different for other different sides of my persona. I don't ever tell people what that is, because that's my secret. So I take that to the grave. That's really what that is. It keeps that brand of
Mystery.
keeps that random mystery on, so to speak.
Okay, well, tell us. We won't tell nobody.
I ain't telling now. I'll tell y'all behind the scenes. I ain't telling you this. You forget that.
We won't tell nobody. We promise. You promise?
No, not getting it on camera. I can tell you that now.
That's that air of mystique around.
That's the whole point.
Well, you already know here on Let's Chat, we like to do something fun. To be able just to have people to see and experience, because, you know, we don't own people, but we do experience them. So they're experiencing every side of you. So T is going to give you a fun question so that we can experience PK, Rashaan. We've already know about Shakir, but we need to know more about PK, and T is going to help us scratch PK's soul and bring that out. Go ahead.
That's perfectly fine by me.
Well, you know, PK, we always enjoy when you visit Lissha and I here on Let's Chat. Now, just to give our listening audience, because they know you as Shakir, they know your pen as Shakir. So we want to ask PK to give us a little snippet of his writing, and I'm going to give you 2 props.
Okay.
The first one is a cell phone, because they always have that around them. And then I'm going to take it back, and I'm going to give you a merry-go-round. So I want you to marry the 2 of those and give us a little taste of what PK can do with those 2 props.
You're funny, I swear.
I know, that's my, you know, my specialty.
That's not cute at all. Like,
What you mean?
What do we do with that? I tell you what. Basically, it would be a matter of basically it would be this. It would be a matter of one of my characters, or one of my teams rather. Just taking both of those as far as the merry-go-round, so to speak, and the cell phone, and just basically next thing we know, it's a whole TikTok moment. You know, that's one aspect of it, you know, as far as that is. Or it would be a matter of them going live on their own little network, and I can't say what that network is, because that's a whole betrayal of whatever. But they're literally, just bouncing back and forth between, while they're swinging, while they're literally on that merry-go-round, or whatever the case may be. Or it could be the carousel, or it could be or it could be the Ferris wheels, as far as that is. It's just a lot of different ways to kind of play around with it, and doing whatever is necessary, so to speak, and then try to get away with stuff that, the parents don't know about, so to speak.
Because I was trying to marry what teens always have a cell phone in their hand, and then you want to go back into that further youth with the carousel or merry-go-round, and they always want to bring it together. But that was what we can expect from PK Rashaan. Nice.
Absolutely. Awesome. So you got to tell us just the name of the book for all of those adults, parents that want to. See, he came prepared. He said, I don't have to.
Pretty much. Yep. I've already got it rolling as far as that is. I ended up having to do a couple proofs just to make sure everything was in one piece. But yeah, this is the proof in the pudding, so to speak. This is the actual front cover of the actual book, and I'm hopeful that hopefully in the next month or 2, I'll be able to do the cover reveal on the second one.
Okay.
Now, before you go, I'm sorry, Lissha, but before you go, I saw on Amazon I had seen the cover, but is there a story behind the way you have chosen written out? There is a story.
That I give a whole lot of credit to my graphic artist and cover designer J.L. Woodson. That was his idea.
Absolutely.
Yeah, awesome. That was his idea. That was his idea to do that. Okay. And when I saw it the first time, it was like we did it with the regular flip, and then he was like, "No, that don't look right. That don't look right." So next thing I know, about an hour later, he gives me the second one, and I'm going, "I see what you did there." We just kind of
saw it on there.
Yeah, we just kind of rolled with it at that point. So more than likely, that's going to probably become a staple of the series in and of itself. just based on the fact that the majority of a lot of the subtitles in the series do have E's in them. So yeah, it may very well become a staple of the series in and of itself.
That's a nice touch. I'm sorry, Lissha. I just had to see, it had to be a story behind the way it was written.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it was definitely a nod to the paranormal genre. Not just the young adult. Yeah, not just the young adult genre, but the paranormal genre as well. So it was a nod to that.
So is that like a hint on the direction your pen is going to go next?
It is a hint. I can't give it a whole way, but yeah, it is a hint of what's to come, definitely.
Okay. And one more thing, Lish, because I'm a sports fanatic, and I noticed there's a jersey with the number 34. So, me and sports, I want to know. And it looks like it may be a basketball jersey, but
yes, it is.
I just know my stuff.
Ball is life. I'm like, ball is life.
Charles Barkley wore 34.
I know Barkley did, but that ain't what I'm talking about.
Oh, thank goodness. Listen, thank goodness, because we have to have an intervention with you. Yeah, we said all you Charles Barkley fans, yeah, I'm just saying. We'd have to have an intervention. Like, listen, you couldn't pick nobody else?
We pick up on things here on our chat. We pick up on things like that. So
nope, not at all. It was but I mean, for me it was ball is life. I mean, that's really what it is when it comes to, and it was really a whole thing of I wanted to figure out what I wanted him to deal with as opposed to being a regular teen in a manner of speaking. So it gave me a lot to play with, plus the fact that I was able to use characters from the adult side, as far as the Devil's All-American was concerned. So I got to pull those characters from that world, put them in my young adult world, and make it work.
I love it.
Yes. Well, thank you.
Absolutely.
Well, as always, we so appreciate you coming to kick it with us in the chat room.
It is my pleasure. We love
when you come in. We can't wait till you come back with some adult stuff.
There is that, and we'll have a conversation on that definitely, because like I said, February is coming around real quick, so we need to go on and book that square.
Absolutely. We want you to shout out all of your social media, any events you have coming up, any library virtual events you may have coming up.
Right now, I know I'll be dealing with the Great Midwest Book Festival this weekend. I've got a spot that I'll be doing, but that'll be a Shakir. As far as the weekend next will be the God forbid, I'm trying to remember the name just that quick, but I'll be doing LaShonda Hoffman's festival that next weekend. As far as that is, I'll be doing that both as Shakir and PK. Because I'll be doing different panels, both on the adult side and the young adult side. So that'll be its own brand of fun as far as that is. At the end of the month, my writing tribe, of course, will be doing a Black Friday weekend, reader appreciation weekend.
Nice.
So it's going to be the same as what happened with the cavalcade. It's just going to be, there'll be a whole different thing that we'll be doing at the end of the month as well. So there's a lot going on this month that I didn't expect to have happen, but that's just the way it worked.
That cavalcade was awesome. It was a lot of fun.
It was. She did. So let me tell you, y'all, she put so much into that event.
Yes, she did.
And to do it virtually takes a whole nother level than if you do an event in person.
I think virtually
you have to be able to make it where everybody is connecting and making sure that they not only can emotionally connect, but that they can physically connect. Everybody is not tech savvy, and just making sure that everybody is in line and on point. But she did a fabulous job.
As well as the supporting tribe as well. You guys did an amazing job.
You guys showed up and showed out right down to making sure that did you drink? Did you eat?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, we learned. We were able to learn and reset the schedule a little bit so we can actually eat. So yeah, especially her. As far as that was, I'm like, good Lord, child. Like, it's only so much you can do. I don't know where you get it from, but I don't know about you, but I need to get a break somewhere in there. I don't know.
Well, thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure as always, lady.
Anytime.
Absolutely. All of my social media is on the home site at pkrashaan.com. Everything is there. So it's the same way that I set Shakira up. You can find everything at home.
That branding. Awesome.
Consistently across the board. We love it. Thank you so much for coming to kick it with us, sharing your energy and your time and space with us. And we will see you soon.
We will. Look forward to it. You too.
Okay. Bye, PK. As always,
I love when he comes on. He's so awesome, y'all. He's so awesome. Mm-hmm. We appreciate you guys coming to kick it with us here in the chat room. It's winding down. The chat room, we're getting ready to go on break. So if you would like to be a guest on Let's Chat, no worries. Just send your request to thechatradioshow@gmail.com. We will start filling up 2021 since we're getting ready to go on break in about a week. 2 weeks, a week or two. So make sure that you guys hit our inboxes, we prefer that you email us. Send your email in if you are an independent artist and you want music. Send your music over. Now, we will be on break, but what we will be doing is our blog interviews. We do have a hardcore readers blog that I'm going to utilize for our break. So that way, if you guys want to have a blog interview, you absolutely can. You send your request to thechatradioshow@gmail.com. The blog interviews will be $15. You'll get the questions in your email, in the form of a Google Doc. And then you just answer those questions and we'll post it up. And that's how we're going to do that. Well, I'm excited. 2021, we got a lot of things going on. T is going to bring back her sports side. So we're going to work that out. You guys know she is everything sports.
That's my passion. I think my Giants are playing tonight, but they're a whole nother story, child. A whole nother book.
Wait a minute. Y'all don't know how much Toni loves her New York teams. So the fact that she listen, they're over there across the street. They ain't gonna be across the street. She don't ever do that.
That took a lot out of me, Lissha.
That means they on some old other stuff. It's like, listen, what is y'all trying to do? What? Y'all want to practice all season? I mean,
girl.
We appreciate you guys coming to kick it with us in the chat room. We will see you guys on next week. No, we will see you guys on the 19th.
2 weeks from today.
2 weeks from today, we have our last show. We appreciate you guys, and we will see y'all soon.
Stay safe, everybody.